The billionaire behind the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange is facing a reckoning. Changpeng Zhao was only 12 years old the first time he left China. Zhao's father, an academic who had been expelled from university during Mao's Cultural Revolution, had fled to Canada when Zhao was 6 years old, and it took until 1989 for the rest of his family to join him. Zhao was thrown out for the second time almost 3 decades later. As a result of Beijing's crackdown on cryptocurrencies, his embryonic startup, Binance, abandoned Shanghai for Japan before making its way to Taiwan and Malta. Today, the 44-year-old CEO of what has become the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange is deliberately silent regarding the location of his company. Binance describes itself as a corporation without a headquarters, and Zhao's LinkedIn profile states that he has lived in Hong Kong, Tokyo, London, and Singapore. The firm's official office is in the Cayman Islands, but the accounts for its UK entity, Binance Markets Limited, state that its parent company is in the British Virgin Islands. When Zhao, affectionately known as CZ by fans, was asked about the company's true headquarters on a podcast last year, he fumbled. "Wherever I sit will be the Binance office. We're not hiding, we're out in the open." Binance's uncertain jurisdiction was highlighted this week when the Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, barred the company from engaging in any regulated activity in the United Kingdom. Binance Markets Limited, the company's British firm, was not authorised to undertake any regulated activity in the UK, according to the watchdog, and no other entity in the Binance Group holds any form of UK authorisation, registration, or licence to conduct regulated activity in the UK. Binance has been given until Wednesday evening to delete all advertising and post a notice informing clients that it is not permitted to perform regulated services. Binance and its creator, a fervent Bitcoin believer who has stated that he holds almost all of his estimated $1.9 billion, £1.37 billion, net worth in crypto assets, have had numerous run-ins with regulators. Zhao began learning computer programming at a young age, encouraged by his father, who had purchased an IBM 286 with the majority of the family's funds. One of his earliest jobs was developing software for the Tokyo Stock Exchange, which he claims taught him how to make the trading systems he later built for Binance function smoothly. Zhao, who had come to Shanghai to establish a high-frequency trading startup, was taught about Bitcoin in 2013 by a technology investor with whom he played poker and who persuaded him to spend 10% of his net worth. He would go one step farther, selling his Shanghai apartment to purchase the cryptocurrency. "What I liked about Bitcoin back then, and now do, is that it is borderless. Having lived in a number of different countries, I would lose a lot of money every time I had to exchange money," he told Bloomberg. Zhao did not open Binance in Shanghai until 2017, about a decade after Bitcoin was launched. Initially, it catered to Chinese cryptocurrency investors, eclipsing the clumsy and untrustworthy digital platforms that existed at the time for purchasing Bitcoin with a lightning-fast website modeled after the stock exchanges for which he had created software. Within months, it was forced to depart China due to a national prohibition on cryptocurrency exchanges, but that did not stop it from becoming the world's largest exchange, a position it attained by offering cryptocurrency traders fee discounts in exchange for using its own Binance coin rather than cash. According to industry tracker CoinMarketCap, more than $16 billion in cryptocurrency purchases pass through Binance each day, compared to just over $2 billion for US major Coinbase. However, its magnitude, as well as its founder's frequently contemptuous attitude towards authorities, has heightened regulatory scrutiny. According to Chainalysis, a company that records cryptocurrency transactions, Binance was the world's most popular exchange for criminals to send money to in order to pay out stolen or laundered cryptocurrencies, accounting for 27.5% of the $2.8 billion in illicit Bitcoin detected. In response, Binance stated that it is committed to combating financial crime. Binance, like all other cryptocurrency exchanges, is still prohibited in China. China ordered payments applications to stop allowing Bitcoin transactions earlier this month, while it has not yet officially banned cryptocurrency. Meanwhile, Binance has been compelled to restrict US users' access to its main website, resulting in the establishment of a new, limited American exchange. However, this has not shielded the corporation from US investigation, with a spate of cyber attacks seeking Bitcoin ransoms prompting even more calls for a crackdown. According to reports, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission is looking into whether the corporation allowed Americans to trade derivatives without approval. The FCA's action, on the other hand, represents a new forceful approach. Binance's operations include both spot trading, in which customers purchase Bitcoin and Ethereum, and high-risk products like as leveraged coins and derivatives, many of which are regulated by the FCA. Although Binance stated that limits on regulated activities would not affect services provided by the company's offshore subsidiaries, Zhao's ambition to build a UK-based exchange may be jeopardized. The FCA refuses to comment on why the suspension was imposed. According to David Hamilton, a senior associate in financial regulation at law firm Pinsent Masons, the FCA's capacity to enforce its will on Binance is essentially limited to the UK. In these types of circumstances, the FCA's powers are relatively restricted. Clearly, it has the ability to display warnings, as it has done. However, it is quite territorial. However, it may have a cascading impact. Many regulators are working together to tighten regulations on Bitcoin exchanges. If the FCA believes its domestic powers are insufficient, it can pick up the phone, Hamilton says. According to Rabia Anwar, a partner at Keystone Law, the Binance suspension sends a clear signal not only to Binance, but to the entire crypto market. She adds that cryptocurrency firms should be under no illusions, as Binance is unlikely to be the only target.